What's up, guys? Higgins in Japan here with another edition of the Friday video. The Friday video is the video that I make right here in my car on the way home from work on a Friday. And I'm beeping you here is my car in reverse. And the reason I'm not moving is because I'm currently sitting in the parking lot of the post office. And there's like 8 million people trying to get mail or do banking, because you can do both here. And I'm probably gonna be here for the next 30 to 40 years. Oh wait, we're just gonna go because that's how we roll here, and try not to hit this dude's car. But anyways, so Friday video thing, full effect. And you might be asking yourself, why are you at the post office? Doesn't the post office come to you? Well, yes, they do, but this time they didn't. Actually, fun fact and fun thing about Japan is that if there is an online form that you can fill out, don't ever trust anyone to actually get that form or do anything with it, because apparently that's what happened with the post office. Now, I've never had any issues with the Japan Post. They've always been great. They've always come on time. Or if I've had a missed delivery, they've always been really great about just being there on time to redeliver. Now, before I moved 5 months ago, if you don't remember, I moved 5 months ago, and I went online and filled out a form that said I was moving, changed my address, got confirmation, got a little thing that I could check the number to make sure everything was cool. I checked the number. It said, yeah, you're good until next year. We'll forward your email or your mail until next year. Thought I was great. Get to the new place, set everything up. You know, bills come, junk mail comes. I figure, hey, we're doing good here. Everything that's here. I'm gonna go straight here instead. Everything that should be showing up is showing up, is great, good to go. Now, yesterday I get a letter in the mail from the post office saying, hey, we delivered something here last week that you had to sign for, and we realized that you're not at that address like you say you are. So we have another letter for you, but we're going to hold on to it until you come down to the post office and sign for it and change your address. So that was a little bit of a surprise to me, you know, because I thought five months ago, the confirmation letter that I so nicely printed out for them, dated March 13th, it is not March anymore, it is July now. And so somewhere between the internet and someone actually getting a hold of that paper or that digital form, it never happened. So, fun fact, thing to remember about Japan, despite people thinking that it is the pinnacle of technology, don't trust anything that says it's a digital form, because it's probably not going to get to the right place. Now, I had a similar issue with my electric. Called TEPCO, said, hey, I'm moving. They said, great, when are you moving? I told them the date. They said, when do you need electricity at your new place? I told them the date. They said, great. It was awesome. We got off the phone, thought things were great, until I got a bill from them saying, hey, you need to call us because you're not at where you say you are, and we're going to shut off the electricity here if you don't give us a call. So I called them and said, hey, when I lived in Ibaraki, I called. And the guy on the phone said, well, they never told us. So somebody in Ibaraki didn't tell somebody in Tochigi that I was moving. So that was a fun little, like, hey, I might not have electricity, fun fact for my apartment. But all of that is pointless and meaningless because this week, this Friday video, I put out the call to answer some questions that you guys had about living in Japan, and I found 3 questions that people left me. There could have been more at this point, but I think that there were only 3, so thank you to the 3. I wanted to turn there, but I didn't, and so we're just going to keep driving this direction, apparently, until I decide to turn and go towards actually where I live. It's alright, I'm good here, because it's the Yamashine, that's the hardware store, and which I need to go to at some point and get a shelf for my apartment, but you know what, these things take time. So, 3 questions. I got 3 questions from you guys. Like I said, thanks again for the questions, and so let's just jump right into it. Question numero 1. Hold on, let me get the little slip of paper that I wrote the question on, because I forgot the question, because I'm busy and I got things to do, and we're at a red light, so it's a perfect opportunity to look and read and not drive at the same time. Alright, question number 1 came from Lucas. He wanted to know if my palate had changed due to the fact that Japanese food is different. I don't know if you knew that. Japanese food is different than other foods in other countries. Sometimes it can be slimy or sticky or weird, quote unquote weird, or just different things that you're not used to, and wanted to know if my palate had adapted to Japanese food. Now, I think by the time that I moved here, I was already kind of pretty much up for anything food-wise. Now, if you know me or knew me as a kid, you would know that I was a very picky eater, and I hated any sort of seafood or anything like that. And moving to Japan, you're going to have to eat a lot of seafood, especially if you're going to be working at a public school like I do, and you're eating the public school lunch. You're going to have fish probably, I wouldn't say in every meal, but I would guarantee 4 out of the 5 meals that you get a week are going to have some sort of fish in it. So you just get used to it. You kind of eat things because, well, you're the teacher and you got to be a good example, right? Like, I'm going to eat my lunch. Now, there are certain things that I won't eat in school lunch. If we have natto, I do not eat natto because it is disgusting and terrible, and anybody that says otherwise is a liar. So yeah, it's just a terrible disgrace of a food that should never be eaten by anyone. And so yeah, that's, I would say that by the time that I got to Japan, and I will say I have eaten a lot of things here that I hadn't probably never thought that I would have eaten. Most of it's like seafood related stuff, but you get a lot of vegetables and a lot of like vegetable products that are in soups and things that just you're not used to. You're not used to the texture. There's something, I don't know what it is, but it looks like a potato, and it's in soup all the time, or a lot of the times, and it kind of looks like a potato, but you bite into it and it's just like mush, and it kind of takes a little getting used to. It tastes fine, there's nothing wrong with it, just it's mush when you bite into it. It's some kind of root vegetable, and if I asked people I could probably find out, but I'm lazy. So yeah, definitely I think that my palate has changed a little bit, just because, like I said, eating more things. And I mean, a lot of the times some of the fish at school, you're like, I will eat this for school lunch, but I'm not going to go to the grocery store and buy this. There have been times where I've eaten stuff at school lunch, I'm like, oh, this is really good, I want to learn how to make this, and then I do. So, but usually not fish related stuff. So hope that answered the question, Lucas. Rob sent me a question. Rob and I have a fun history. We'll talk about that at some point in a video. Probably not. Rob and I go way back. Anyways, so Rob wanted to know, is there something that Japanese people think that all Americans have or all Americans do? I think one of the things that comes to mind is whenever you say you're from America, people in Japan tend to go, oh, have you been to this place, or have you been to that place? And usually it's on the other side of the country. Not to say that people don't travel in the United States, but like, I think that people in Japan don't really understand the size of the country. They don't understand the size of America because it's, you know, people are living in Japan, and they live in a country that's very small, about the size of California maybe. So yeah, it's hard to explain to people, like, no, like, I have not been to the Grand Canyon because it might as well be on the other side of the world for me. So yeah, I think that, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There's probably other things that, you know, like the stereotypical things, like, oh, all Americans are noisy on the train and that kind of stuff, but I was kind of trying to keep it to, like, things that are, whatever, not controversial or whatever. So yeah, just thinking that, like, Americans have traveled all over the United States when they haven't. But then again, I've met a lot of Japanese people that have not traveled all over Japan, so, like, what the heck. So yeah. So thank you for the question, Rob. We'll talk later. All right, last question comes from Nicholas. Nicholas wanted to know if there were any kids songs that we teach here in Japan that are, you know, quote unquote American, or just songs that you have learned in America as a kid. I made a list. I'm going to read them really quick. Ainty Weensy Spider, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes. I'm a Little Teapot, Five Little Monkeys, B-I-N-G-O, the bingo song. Row, row, row your boat, Old MacDonald, Jingle Bells, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, that kind of stuff. But I really don't teach any of those songs in any of my classes, with the exception of Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes, and Five Little Monkeys I did back in the day. It really depends. Some of the teachers really want you to teach. You know, I had a teacher a couple of years ago that wanted, every month she wanted, like, a tongue twister, and she wanted a song, and, like, she wanted those to change every month. And so, excuse me, something's trying to kill me in the air. Anyways, yeah, so she wanted me to teach a new song every month, and teach, like, a riddle or a tongue twister every month. So you'll get that sometimes with teachers. Other times they'll say just, like, hey, just do, like, the hello song, which is, you know, pretty generic. Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thanks, and you. Like, it's pretty much that simple. So yeah, usually there's not a whole lot of time spent on, like, teaching new songs. I know like I said, with that one teacher, I taught, like, London Bridge and Ainty Weensy Spider and a couple other ones. I forget how many we got through. But yeah, it was cool because, like, it was cool in the fact that I was able to, like, teach them songs that I knew, like, American kids sang. But also, it took a lot of time out of class the first couple of times, because, like, you had to explain what these songs were and explain the words to them and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so there you go. I hope that answered you guys' questions. If you have any more questions or comments, head over to facebook.com/Higgins in Japan, and I will probably answer your questions in another video. Have a good one, guys. Peace.